Thank you, Clayton, and thank you to the World VR Forum. I have to say, I think that this is a pretty amazing team of people and panelists who have been speaking today. And I was glad that I flew 24 hours and missed my son's 11th birthday to see what an amazing group of people that are happening in Europe. I'm Marcie Jastrow, and I am the SVP of Immersive Media for Technicolor. I am also the head of the Technicolor Experience Center. I came here today to talk to you about our commitment to VR, but before I do that, I thought I would take you on a journey of where Technicolor lives, because we've been around for the last 100 years, and I don't expect all of you to know exactly what businesses we're in at this very moment. About 6 years ago, Technicolor decided to get out of the film business. We were number one, and we decided to get out of it because we saw the market shifting and going to digital. At that time, we needed to decide what we were going to do with the business and how we were going to evolve it to the next piece of entertainment. That time, we started shedding those businesses that were not a part of the creative vision. We wanted to move more towards the creative side. So we shed the commoditized businesses, and we decided to go on a shopping spree. At that time, we started making acquisitions in some of the largest visual effects companies in Hollywood and beyond. We had already had MPC Film, which was servicing most of the large blockbuster films. But then we bought Mr. X in Toronto, Micros Image in France, and then The Mill. And at the same time, we started building out an infrastructure in India to build out the games and animation division. Today, we are 8,000 artists strong, and we are working on creative content every single day. We have watched the shift from regular flatties to immersive media by working on films such as Life of Pi, Revenant, Birdman, and of course the Academy Award-winning Jungle Book. So today, we have taken all of that knowledge and all of those people, and we have invested heavily into virtual reality, augmented reality, and mixed reality. In addition to our creative side, we are also distributing content, and we distribute content through being number one in the gateways in the homes, as well as number two in set-top boxes. So as you can see, we are creating content, and we are watching the delivery into the home and seeing exactly what this ecosystem needs. Now, we talk about Technicolor being a 100-year-old company. The company was actually built on research and innovation. We were the company that created color and the three-step process. And that was done through researchers and innovators. We still have those researchers today. They're only not working on film. They're actually working on immersive media. We have 150 sitting in Rennes, France, working on everything from AI to haptics to image quality to pipeline to distribution of content. So as you can see, we are very well poised to be in immersive media. So let's get to our commitment. Can we move the slide? Thank you. So Technicolor is pushing the boundaries of entertainment by creating the content, partnerships, and technologies that make the immersive future possible. How are we doing this? We believe that VR, AR, and MR is the future. And we believe that we need to be very keen and concerned about how these images are being delivered to the consumer. But we believe that there are 6 compelling factors that need to happen in order for virtual reality to really take flight. The first one is high-quality native content. You have but one shot to get these people in a headset and get them to like it. And if it's not high-quality content, they're going to walk away. They're going to have a terrible user experience. And so you need to make sure that every time you're creating this content, you are doing it with the consumer in mind. Social immersion. We have heard so much today about social VR. While I like going into the headset and escaping, most people want it to be social. So the idea is, what is that water cooler moment? What is going to make people actually really want to come back into that headset? Cadence is another thing. Again, how can you get them to come back into the headset? What are those Easter eggs that you are laying to make them continuously come back and consume content? And then disruptive. Why does it need to be disruptive? Well, let's see. You have people playing games, you have people watching movies, and you have people binge watching episodic television. So their leisure time is already taken up with thousands of different ways to do it. So you have to make disruptive content to make them want to put a headset on, sit down, and consume this content. Next slide, please. User experience. So one of the things we're going to talk about is the Technicolor Experience Center. In that center, it is somewhat of an education. What we do is we have every headset known to mankind, we've curated all different types of content, and we can see how people are consuming the content. If you are not creating these experiences with the user in mind, and you are making it too difficult for them to move through your worlds, they're never going to come back. So you always have to think of user experience and how it is that these people can get through that content. And the last is story. We live and buy by story. We believe that story is the most important component to the entire 6 factors. And what we also believe is that storytelling will transcend by traditional entertainment and gaming. You need to be able to tell stories to keep people interested because there's so many different ways for people to consume this content. So the better the story, the richer the content. So Technicolor, as I said, has been working with its brands to work on many different experiences. We've been watching different types of experiences like The Martian, where we created the assets for that, all the way to Passengers. And we have done about 60 experiences in between, both 360 rendered experiences as well as Game Engine. I did mention our pipeline in India that has 1,800 artists committed to pipeline game engines. Next slide. So we have thousands of artists, and we've worked on many different experiences. And so we have some of our work. The Technicolor Experience Center is a place for people to come together and to look at all the different technologies, all of the different content, to create, iterate, and prototype. The first 3 projects we worked on was with PBS, and it was My Brother's Keeper. It was a story of 2 brothers who are fighting on the opposite sides of the Civil War. It was very interesting to us because it was high-end cinematic VR. The second one we worked with was Wonder Buffalo, which was an interactive game where it was a story of a young girl who was feeling very lonely and went into a comic book world, and you were able to interact with all of the different assets. And then the third is Giant. Some of you may know Melissa and Winslow, who created a very beautiful film about a family that was in a bomb shelter during the bombing of a home. But in addition to that, we have MPC VR, next slide, who has worked on many, many different types, from music videos to their own content, to Catatonic, which is what made me actually like VR. And then we have The Mill, who also has worked on the same types of content, all working in Game Engine as well as rendered 360 images. We also have a sound lab that is working on spatial audio and being able to really manage the sound. Sound is extremely important in order to keep people in VR and how you're going to direct them in VR. So the Technicolor Experience Center is a place for people to come and to learn and to grow. Essentially, what we've done is we pulled all of our brands who are working on immersive media. We have pulled the people from R&I, and we have put them in a central place in Culver City. It is a place to create, ideate, and consume, and to prototype over and over again to see what works and what doesn't. And I must say that it's actually working, because what we can see is that our content is getting better, the stories are getting better, and the tools are getting better for VR. So I invite all of you to come up to me tonight and ask more about the Technicolor Experience Center and how you can get involved as a partnership. We are looking for everything from content creators to technologists to research and scientists. And if you have something special that you would like to talk to me about, I welcome it. Now what I would like to do is go and show you a reel of some of the content that we've created. I did this fast because I think you guys are tired, and I know I am. Enjoy the rest of the show.